I just want to be very clear. I don't like pointing out when anyone, political opponent, someone that I criticize in public life, is entering that phase where they're clearly losing a step in terms of their cognition, entering the early stages of senility, dementia. It's a sad thing, and we all at some phase of our life will be in a stage of deterioration. Hopefully we live long enough to get to a place where we're not quite as acute and not quite as quick as we once were. So I don't take any pleasure in pointing this stuff out, but this is the commander-in-chief. This is the head of the United States Armed Forces. This is the top of the executive branch. This is an individual whose decision-making, mental clarity, and ability to think through complex issues and be focused on them at all times is a matter that affects not just hundreds of millions of Americans, but really the whole world. And yet here is Joe Biden yesterday at a speech he gave on supply chain. Just watch this.
Of America. God bless you all.
Now, there are people who say that he was signaling and that he was wondering if he was going to shake hands with people or not. Others said that it looked like he was trying to shake the hand of somebody who wasn't there. You know what? We'll give the benefit of the doubt on that, fine. But it did just look like an old man who was confused about where to go and how to go. And this is not the first time. This is just one of many times that Joe Biden does not seem to be where he is at any point in time. Now, this is increasingly something that you're probably going to see the media talking about, because Joe Biden as a political brand is in decline as well. The Hunter Biden laptop story, which has now been, quote, confirmed by major news outlets, including the New York Times, the Washington Post, that's not going away. And 10% for the big guy, and the possibility of the exposure of major Biden family corruption and how that would hamper, that would hinder any efforts Biden may have going forward for re-election. This is all in play at this stage. In fact, there are some who think that it's possible, perhaps even likely, that after the midterm election, the Democrats will be scrambling to come up with some kind of a plan to have this individual who does not seem to be, nor has ever seemed to be, up to the job, and let's be honest, is not doing a good job, replaced. And you look at the polls, we talked about some of this on the show yesterday, when you have a lower approval rating than any president in modern memory at this stage of a presidency. I mean, he's only 1 year in, and on every major issue, it is a disaster. This is not a particularly bright fellow. This is not somebody with real leadership skills. He's a party hack. He's a machine politician of the Democrat apparatus. And the fact that they used a pandemic year to shoehorn this guy into the Oval Office is just appalling, honestly. This was always reckless. And the age issue alone should have really been a disqualifier for him. I'll say this, Donald Trump is getting close to a place where his age could be considered a real vulnerability for election purposes. Joe Biden is past that line, though. I mean, Joe Biden running for a second term, for example, would just seem to be utterly reckless. But then again, you look at Diane Feinstein, who is 88 years old. Okay, Diane Feinstein, Democrat, was head of the Senate Intelligence Committee for many, many years. She's 88 years old, and her mental condition has deteriorated. This is from the San Francisco Chronicle. This is not from some right-wing blog. 4 U.S. senators, including 3 Democrats, as well as 3 former Feinstein staffers, and the California Democratic member of Congress, told the Chronicle in recent interviews her memory is rapidly deteriorating. They said it appears she can no longer fulfill her job duties without her staff doing much of the work required to represent the nearly 40 million people of California.
Don't miss American Scandal, Hunter Biden. A new First TV exclusive special hosted by Buck Sexton. Available right now only on the First TV app.